All right, let's just jump right in because this is something we all deal with, right? That little voice in your head constantly worrying about what other people think. It can hold you back, it can cause so much stress, it's just exhausting. But what if you could actually break free from that? Well, this is your guide to turning down the volume on all that outside noise and turning up the one voice that really matters, yours. I mean, you know the feeling. You trip just a little bit on the sidewalk, or you stumble over a word in a meeting, and in that 1 second, it feels like this giant Hollywood spotlight just clicks on and points directly at you. It feels like every single person is watching and judging. It's such a paralyzing feeling, isn't it? Well, guess what? That feeling actually has a name. It's called the spotlight effect. And what I love about this slide is how clearly it shows the massive gap between what's going on in our heads versus what's happening in reality. It's a cognitive bias where we think people are paying way, way more attention to us than they actually are. While you're replaying your little trip on a loop for hours, everyone else, they've already forgotten. They're too busy worrying about the spotlight on them. Okay, so if we know it's a bias, why does it feel so incredibly real, so intense? To really get a handle on this, we have to understand where it comes from. And the answer, it turns out, is buried deep, deep in our evolutionary past. I mean, really think about it. Way back in the day when our ancestors were trying not to become lunch for a saber-toothed tiger, being part of a group wasn't just nice, it was everything. It was life or death. If you got kicked out of the tribe, you were on your own, and that was pretty much a guaranteed death sentence. So our brains evolved this incredibly powerful primal fear of rejection. It's a survival instinct that's still running in the background of our minds today. And this is where the amazing researcher Brené Brown comes in. She connects that ancient programming to a very modern and very powerful emotion, shame. She defines it as the fear of disconnection. It's that awful feeling, that whisper in your ear that says, I'm flawed, and if they see the real me, they won't want me. It's our brain's ancient alarm system just screaming at us, terrified we're going to get left behind. So what does this fear do to us? Well, it drives us to look outside of ourselves for proof that we're okay. We start building this social mask, sometimes called a pseudo-self. It's the version of us that is tailor-made to get approval. It loves praise, it's terrified of criticism, and it leaves us constantly performing for everyone else instead of just, being ourselves. Okay, so we're hardwired to be people pleasers. That's the problem. But, and this is a big but, it doesn't mean we're stuck. So let's pivot from the problem to the solution. And it all starts with building an internal compass, a concept from family systems theory called differentiation of self. So what on earth does that actually mean? Simply put, differentiation is the ability to hold on to your own sense of self, even when you're feeling pressure from other people. It's knowing where you end and someone else begins. And this is so key. It doesn't mean you become a cold, isolated person. It means you can stay true to your own values while still being deeply and emotionally connected to the people you care about. And this table just lays out the difference perfectly. We all have these two parts. On one side, you got the solid self. This is your core. It's your deepest beliefs, the things that are non-negotiable. It changes from the inside out based on your own experiences. Then you have the pseudo-self. This is the part that's built on borrowed opinions. It's a chameleon, constantly changing based on outside pressure to get approval. The goal isn't to kill the pseudo-self, but to grow your solid self so that it's the one in the driver's seat. Okay, so how do we take this idea of a solid self and actually use it in our day-to-day lives? This is where Mark Manson's work is just fantastic. It's all about becoming incredibly selective about what you allow to get to you. Now, this is a huge, huge misconception. The point isn't to become some apathetic robot who cares about nothing. That's not strength. That's just another way of hiding. The real power is in choosing what is worthy of your time and your energy. It's about deciding what your solid self truly values, and then aiming your very limited supply of fucks only at those things. Manson breaks it down into 3 subtleties. Number 1, it's about being okay with being different because you're living by your own rules. Number 2, if you have a powerful why, something you care about more than the struggle, then you can get through almost any how. And number 3, you are already choosing what to care about every single day. The trick is just to become aware of those choices and start cutting out the trivial stuff that doesn't really matter. And this quote it nails it. A good life isn't a life with no problems. That doesn't exist. A good life is one where you get to choose your problems. Happiness and meaning come from solving the challenges that actually matter to you, not from trying to avoid challenges altogether. So, if we're choosing our good problems, how do we protect our energy for them? This brings us to the final and maybe the most practical tool of all, setting healthy boundaries. Think of this as putting up a fence to protect your peace of mind and your solid self. And here's a fantastic way to start. Just visualize this. Your inner circle is everything that makes you feel safe, energized, and like yourself. Your outer circle is all the stuff that leaves you feeling stressed out, drained, or just not good. That outer circle, that's exactly where you need to start building and reinforcing your boundaries. Now, setting boundaries is a skill, and it definitely takes practice. It can feel really awkward at first, which is why having a few simple, direct phrases in your back pocket can be a total game changer. Whether it's asking for physical space, pausing a heated conversation, or calling out disrespect, these statements are clear, they are firm, and they are about honoring your own needs. You know, when it's all said and done, every single strategy we've talked about, from understanding the spotlight effect to building your solid self to setting boundaries, it all comes back to this one fundamental idea, which Brené Brown says so beautifully. The whole journey starts with the belief that you are enough, right now, exactly as you are. So, I'm going to leave you with this question. If you truly, deeply started to believe you were enough, and you let go of that fear of what other people think, what would you do? What's one thing you would finally try? What's one thing you would finally say? That spotlight was never real, but the freedom to be yourself, that is absolutely real. Thanks for watching.